Good afternoon. I just came from the President's meeting on wildfires with Western governors. The increasing intensity of wildfires and heat out west is a major public health challenge. President Biden is bringing leadership and resources, the resources of the federal government, to help those on the front lines in our western states. I briefed the President and his team on what EPA is doing to help keep people safe. The EPA has developed tools to help provide the public with reliable information to inform and protect people when wildfire smoke is causing dangerous air quality issues in their communities. As part of the administration's broader efforts to improve wildfire preparedness, EPA is deploying additional new sensors in heavy smoke areas to assess air quality. We will be adding the Fire and Smoke app to the AirNow mobile app next month so that firefighters, families, and people throughout the communities in the West can take action to reduce their exposure. You can learn more about this resource tracking smoke and air quality at airnow.gov/fires and visit ready.gov/wildfires to learn about actions you can take now to prepare for wildfires and stay safe. You know, this is one powerful example of why we need to do more to rebuild our infrastructure that can withstand the impacts of climate. Because as wildfires rage out west, floods are consuming communities elsewhere. The extreme weather events Americans are experiencing year-round underscore the need to make bold investments needed to tackle the climate crisis. The bipartisan infrastructure framework would make the largest investment in American history, nearly $50 billion in the resilience of the physical and natural systems. Breathing air and drinking clean water are at the heart of President Biden's Build Back Better agenda, because he believes no family, no child should be still drinking water from lead pipes. Water infrastructure is a huge part of the President's American Jobs Plan, and it's carried through in the bipartisan infrastructure framework, and for very good reason. Clean and healthy drinking water and safe and effective stormwater and wastewater infrastructure is necessary for every thriving community. Yet, as you see here on the screen, there are still an estimated 6 to 10 million lead service lines that need to be replaced all across the country. In the few months since I've started this job, I've had the chance to hear directly from communities and visit water infrastructure sites and programs all around the country. In St. Louis, Missouri, where there are still an estimated 28,000 lead service lines, I visited a drinking water plant that is more than 100 years old. The director there told me that we need to invest in our water infrastructure before it's too late. In Illinois, where there are 400,000 lead service lines just in the Chicagoland area, I heard from people who are struggling to address the urgent need for lead pipe replacement. We know that low-income people and communities of color are disproportionately at risk when it comes to lead-contaminated drinking water. And last week in Baltimore, I had the privilege of meeting with the young folks who joined a job training program that are now successfully working in water infrastructure jobs. Getting clean and healthy drinking water to people isn't a political issue. It isn't a partisan issue. It's an American issue. Access to clean, safe drinking water is fundamental to protecting all people, regardless of zip code or how much money they have in their pockets. And that's why the bipartisan infrastructure framework makes a transformational $55 billion investment in our nation's water infrastructure, including the funds needed to replace our nation's lead pipes. This will be the largest investment in clean drinking water and wastewater infrastructure in American history. By upgrading and repairing our aging infrastructure, it will ensure people have reliable access to safe and clean drinking water that they deserve. Replacing lead service lines will bring long overdue progress to overburdened communities that have been disproportionately impacted by exposure to lead in their drinking water. And by putting dollars into our communities, it will create good-paying union jobs and strengthen the future water workforce of our nation. The bipartisan infrastructure framework is a critical first step to implement President Biden's vision to build back better, enhance our climate resilience, and ensure clean air and clean water. We know that there's more work to be done, which is why the President will continue championing his full American Jobs Plan. President Biden's leadership on responding to wildfires in the West, building our nation's resilience to climate change, and prioritizing water infrastructure is already bolstering the work for EPA. And I'm grateful to the President, I'm grateful to Congress, and the American people for their ongoing bipartisanship support on these very important issues.
All right. Who's going to go ahead?
Thanks. Sir, in the meeting with the governor